we're just gonna start recording just to make sure that he's abso-freaking-lutely late, and there's no way that he can take care of it. So, start speaking words.
Some words.
Okay, good. That's picking that up. Good, good, good. So, hey everybody, this is episode number 209 with Jake here's with me. I am Jared, and of course we are with David's chair. Say hi to David's chair, everybody.
Typical.
I
This
know,
fucking guy.
like he just,
Late every time.
dude. I had Jake. Remember that episode where I was like, hey, I need to have a schedule and I need to put one down.
Yep.
I've been keeping to it. It's on the books. We have a whole chat dedicated dedicated to this, and he can't even keep up with it.
I know. Trust me, I'm on another podcast with him, Jared. I understand. It's the same way with that podcast.
Yeah, it's man. If I had $1 for every time he was late, I think I would 110% be. Oh God, oh that's fucking everything up. Don't. There we go. There we go. We're back to the setup that it was supposed to be. Yeah. No, we're back to the setup it's supposed to be. For those of you who watch the video, you will see that I have a process that I go through, and it's all fucked. But you ready?
Hey Kyle, are you joining us?
Let's kick the show off.
Oh yeah, we gotta trim some of the fat around here. You can fire Professor Xavier.
Who are you talking about? You mean Hank?
Yeah, fucking creeps me out. Rolling around all day in a special little secret chair. I know he's up to something.
Yeah, we got to fire David. We got to trim some of the fat around here. He's constantly late to the episodes. He did it! He just left. I was like, shit, I have to rearrange the entire screen again.
I mean, you're probably gonna have to. Kyle's coming.
Oh, I know. Fuck, man. Whatever. Oh my god.
So fuck you.
Dude, like you're like, hold on, I gotta go take care of the kids. I was like, ooh. We gotta start the show. We gotta start the show. David could be late again. And it's just a rolling introduction, a rolling joke. Dude, I don't did my yeah, okay, VLC picked it up. Good. I can use that as a secret intro.
Excellent.
Oh my god, I hate you.
It's all good.
Wait, are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to be late. I had to make you late.
Yeah, you yelling at Kyle. You talking about the intro blade. All that. All that's in.
Why would you? I told you I would be right back. You're.
If I can
Dog
find
shit.
a way to make you late, I'm gonna make you late.
You could have just said, "Hey, David, be a little late."
No, then it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You actually have to be late. That's the bit.
If you're in on the joke, are you like really? Is it really funny, right? Like, cause, I mean,
Oh.
dude, I've been doing some jokes for myself like all this week, and it's just like it's depressing. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that
like
Jake can
abandoning all
enjoy
your
it.
friends.
I did not abandon you. How many times do we have to have
Okay.
this
I don't know.
conversation? I am not
That's
abandoning
the first time
you.
I've seen you. But then you post TikToks playing with a whole bunch of other people. I'm just saying.
Do you know how often I was sitting in the Discord this week alone,
Yeah, not once actually.
hoping and begging that you would log on to
Yeah, not
play?
once actually.
What are you
I
talking
mean, maybe
about?
while I was at work, while I had my career,
I
that
was
I used
sitting-
to, feed my family.
I was
but, you
sitting
know.
and waiting till like 8 or 9 o'clock for one of you.
That's not true. I've been on every single night except for Tuesday night.
That's true. Even Thursday night when we were supposed to be recording the other podcast.
That is correct because I forgot it was Thursday. That is correct.
I was
And
And
really.
then the motherfucker didn't bring his phone with him.
I did
So he was
not.
like
yeah.
texting. It was like, "Hey, you want to record?" No response. Just me sitting in the living room. Like, I guess we're not. I guess we're not doing this today.
The worst part of that is that it literally was like my phone was like 5 feet from Jake, and then on top of it, I had just, because you want to talk about you were sitting alone. I'm always sitting alone. I was just sitting there, and finally people had fucking joined me, and we had just started to load into a raid, when I came upstairs to get water real quick, and Jake was like, "So are we not recording tonight?"
Always late.
I have a
Fucking guy.
I have a story I want to tell, but I'm not sure I want to tell it.
Well, now I definitely want to hear it.
Yeah.
So, David, do you remember on New Year's Eve, right? When I was like, I'm gonna go do my thing where I'm supposed to have a New Year's date night.
Do you want to tell this?
Yeah, I do.
Does that person listen to this?
Probably not anymore, but they do.
I don't know if that's a good idea, buddy.
I
Do it,
got
Jared.
I got stood up, and I got ghosted
Oh no.
for like
Ugh.
3 days. Right? Heard nothing, hide nor hair, and I was so ashamed that after like 45 minutes, I was like, I cannot walk back to the Let's Play Deathray Discord server and be like, yeah, guys, I got ghosted. I could not bring myself to like just go, yeah, that was a complete and utter because like I was talking it up all day, wasn't I? I was like, I got this New Year's date. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic, and just nothing. And I couldn't. I got sad, so sad, and so I know what it feels like, Jake, to just get ghosted and not have anybody say anything.
Yeah. You think someone cares, and then they just don't.
I know.
Yeah. It's a classic story.
Yeah, that's really what Jared did to me.
I didn't do a single thing to you. I have not ghosted
Also, that
you.
sucks, Jared. I'm sorry.
Ah, it's fine.
That's super shitty on their part.
It's real Jared behavior.
Yeah, that is very Jared behavior right there. There we go. Hi, Kyle. How's it going, buddy? You okay?
They're already live because they wanted to make me late.
Yeah. We've been live
I
for
want
like
him to
10
sleep in.
minutes.
That's fair. I mean, it's noon. It is sleeping in.
Not enough.
My bad.
You
Also, I
literally
heard you in there listening to TikToks 2 hours ago, so I don't want to hear it.
Did you literally
Oh,
just
was
wake up, Kyle? Like just get out of bed?
Yeah.
Do you wake up, listen to TikToks, and then fall back asleep?
Sometimes.
I wish I had that ability.
Turn on, used to be like turn on the TV and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Because now I have the ability to set up my tablet against the wall and just lay there and eventually just pass the fuck out again.
Wait. So I gotta ask. That's your new bed in the background. Did you have a bunk bed before or something?
It was laying on the ground, the mattress.
So you had like just a stand behind you then, like a shelves.
Oh, the
behind
metal shelving.
You. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
Kyle's
moved his
computer-
entire setup.
Yeah, his computer used to be on the other side of the room in
Yeah.
this little like built-in desk thing that's there.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and the desk is now at the right height. I don't have to have my chair at the max and still have my arms up.
Fair.
That I always had what was it, playing Tarkov? I had my arms sitting on the desk in front of me like this with the mouse, and I was doing this number.
Jesus! How did you play?
Apparently very well. But now I can rest it on my armrest and play like a normal human being.
I hope your ability tanks because of it.
I don't know. My full auto SKS says otherwise.
Jesus.
Oh, you haven't seen it, Jared. I made a full auto SKS without. Hold on, let's see if I can get this.
Oh, yeah. Let's. Okay. I don't know what he's. What is Kyle doing? He's whistling.
Right now
at
he's
something?
calling Yuki, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Why does Kyle do anything? It's
To-
a mystery.
To fuck with us potentially.
She might be outside. She's not
Oh.
down here, and she's not coming.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of Christmas treats. So
Aw.
now, when I stream, she could be right there.
Aw. There we go. Hell yeah,
She'll be on the
man.
bed.
Kyle, I have to complain a little bit. every time I watch your
God.
stream, your video that you have is just slightly off center from the little webcam overlay that you have, and I just want to be like, Kyle, just give me like 5 seconds with your PC. Let me adjust that real quick. There we go. Call it a day.
Oh, there's Yuki.
It gets me every time. Seriously, there's a puppy. Yeah, that'll get you a lot of stream points right there, dude. A lot of good stream points.
True.
I thought so too. Yuki also likes it because I've already noticed if I don't have my headset on and she's laying behind me, when she wants attention, she'll go like lean over my seat and everything and just lick the back of my ear.
Aw, it's
It's
adorable.
like, hey, I want some pets. Okay.
And there's the sits. She already knows. She already knows.
Hmm.
God, that's adorable.
So, host, what are we talking about, Jake?
Yeah. Jake, what's up, bud?
Well, our intern Jared was nice enough to send some homework to everyone that I'm sure we all read.
Oh, that was homework?
We didn't. We didn't. I did
Fair.
try on one of them. The other one,
Well-
I already know about this, so I didn't read it.
Dude,
The Tetris one?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I was like, okay, yeah, I don't have to read this. I know this story.
Kyle, you're in the chat, man. I sent it like a week ago.
Hold up.
You're
Yeah.
getting Kyled hard right now, Jared.
Oh no, I knew you sent something. It's just like I
Yeah,
figured it was just videos you want us to watch for no reason.
it's the Nobody's Listening podcast chat. Kyle.
To be fair, in Kyle's half defense,
No.
you do send things with zero context.
I'm real good at that, yeah.
Yeah, you aren't like, this is interesting, even, or like, would you guys like to talk about this? Or this is what we're talking about. None of that. No, just a random link. Like, you are every corporate IT person's nightmare.
Also,
If this was a corporation, we would be flagging your posts as spam and sending it to the security department.
I am
Also,
the
Jared-
security department. I sent it.
the last time you sent something for us to do, you also said, I'd like to discuss this tomorrow. Underneath the video, not just here's 2 hyperlinks.
That is true.
Okay, yeah. What happened too? Okay, so there's the
So I
titty
figured it's
stream.
like just
Well-
stuff you wanted us to that you thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I wanted to talk about the cat that meows with nature, and then we didn't ever talk about that because we were too busy talking about Boogie and that oddity. And then,
Okay.
yeah, like I just like what do you mean? It's the podcast where it's the podcast chat, man. That's what you do, right?
I mean, I immediately assumed that's what they were there
Yeah,
for. Makes sense
same.
to me.
Same, but I understand the confusion is what I'm saying.
Dude, it's like when I send my rent check to the landlord, and it's like, this is Jared. He's the only one that lives at the address. He's lived there for 5 years. You fucking know this kid. I only have ever paid for my rent. And they're like, hey, we didn't get your rent check last week. Yeah, no, I turned it into you. Oh, this one you mean? Yeah, the one with my name and my address on it that I give you on the 1st and 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, but it didn't say for rent in the.
Why
I
else
mean,
would I give you a
I've
check for
rented from some places
$500?
that will fucking hammer you for that. Also, Jared, you messaged me on a whole lot more than just rent. Or in this context, podcast material.
What? In the group chat for D&D?
Let's see.
Yeah, when was the last time I actually direct messaged you, Kyle?
2 hyperlinks. Also, to clarify, I'm good. That's Jake.
Let's play Deathray. The
It's
last
me,
message
Maybe.
I sent Kyle was on December 12th, 2023. It was a screenshot of me doing something in Tarkov that I don't remember. Yeah. And then it was the link for File Entertainment. That was the last one on December 1st.
Huh? Yeah, December was the last time he played in the Let's Play Deathray, Discord.
It's the 7th. It's the fucking 7th, David. Relax, I've been there before.
It just was perfect. Listen, you're pulling receipts on Kyle that happen to be receipts on you. It's just it's what you call a perfect storm, and I'm capitalizing.
God damn greedy capitalists.
Get him,
Calm down,
Kyle.
Jesse.
I am curious though. What do you guys think about that? The kid beating Tetris. Like, I mean, David, is there a natural end to Tetris?
No.
Well,
I mean,
there
yes.
is apparently.
Yeah, like you just go until the code can't go no mo, which is what this kid did.
Yeah.
And then there's a fucking news anchor that's under fire for making light of his accomplishment and like talking shit and literally telling him to go touch grass.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah. There was a news anchor who was covering the story about this kid who beat Tetris, and she was like, "That's not a life accomplishment. Go outside."
The news anchor.
What a dick.
Right?
UK news anchor ripped for telling teenage Tetris record breaker to go outside and touch some fresh air.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Where's the video?
I don't know. I didn't have it prepared. I
mean,
thought
it would probably
everyone had
take it
seen that
down
by now.
No, they've got it blocked. The whole ad block thing.
Yeah, they're not gonna take it down, Kyle. They're gonna put it behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Twitch.
What?
I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
No, it's on X or whatever.
Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, Twitter. And this guy's. Oh my god, I don't fucking care. I just want to hear the news anchor rip him. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Allow ads on. I don't care. Why is it so hard to watch a fucking video, guys?
Paywalls, Jared. Paywalls.
Oh, here we go. This is her. This is her doing it, and then. Oh, that's right. I gotta add a source.
I was gonna say, hey, buddy, we don't hear anything.
No, I know.
We're just gonna watch Jared watch the video.
Yeah, you're gonna
That's
watch
right.
me watch the video, and then.
Yeah, that's riveting.
Why do I have so many Xbox Game Bar widgets? That's so fucking weird. Skychrome News. Whoops. Lower that.
Sublime. Chef's kiss audio content right now.
Hey, at least I can get it right the first time, all right? I can tell you right now, if you've ever listened to have you listened to the Evil Mark show? That motherfucker, he can't.
Yes.
Dude can't hit a fucking. All right, whatever. Fine, fuck it. Listen. Is it serious? Did it just switch on me? It did. It did just.
Be beaten because it just goes.
Why the fuck would you just randomly switch to a goddamn new window?
He can get it on the first try, guys. He's not like Mark.
Why would you switch to a new window?
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna fucking.
So much.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game
I
that just
didn't know me
can't be
bringing
beaten
something up was gonna
because it just goes
derail this
on
so
and
much.
on.
Oh my god!
Well, 13-year-old American Willis Gibson has technically proven that wrong. He beat the original Nintendo version of the game by reaching such a high level that the coding froze. That left the program unable to generate any more falling blocks.
Is the video playing?
I shared it. You
As
should
a
be
mother, I
watching
would
it.
just say step away from the screen, go
It's
outside,
probably
get
because you haven't muted, David.
Yeah.
I have him muted.
I'm sharing. Watch. I hit share. I
You were
click on the
sharing it,
fucking
Jared.
application.
You were sharing it.
Yeah. I'm going live now. It's live.
Oh my
Are you fucking ready, David? Are you ready to watch the clip that I went live with?
I've been ready.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Ears open, eyeballs shut.
Step away from the screen, go outside,
still
get
no
some
audio
fresh
for
air.
me.
Beating Tetris.
I can hear it.
Yeah, it's
I
going through.
can't.
I fucking hate like all of you.
I've seen the clip, Jared. I brought it up.
I know. What do you mean you brought it up?
I was.
You're the one who interrupted, David.
Yeah,
Halfway through.
I pulled it up. I streamed it. I did everything I was fucking supposed to.
All I needed was yes, there's sound, and that was it. Fuck. Just because there wasn't sound for me, it was fine. Jesus Christ Almighty.
Great. That's a great episode, guys. This is what you get for making me host.
Season 5. Great start, boys. Great start. Chaos reigns supreme, huh?
It's just been nothing but you guys screaming at each other, struggling to bring up a video clip, not making it to the part of the video clip we discussed, and then ending the video.
Yeah, why are you not playing the video?
This is fantastic.
I hate all of you. This will
Do
be
I
the
need to bring the
second.
video up?
This
'Cause,
will
like, I
be
know
the
how to do it.
second shortest episode ever of Feathers and Friends. Nobody's listening. All right.
Do I?
Second
But seriously, do
shortest.
I need to bring the video up for you?
No,
Because like
no.
I know how to do it to where everyone can view it. And
I got
hear
it. I got it. We're
Oh,
good.
okay, okay.
We're okay. It played like twice already now for everybody.
Oh, except for
the
the.
guy
I know
played
you didn't
twice.
show the part about her being a bitch to him. So.
Yeah. You go out. She says, "Go outside and touch some grass."
Oh, it gets worse at the end.
It gets worse at the end.
Yeah. Like she's the end of it is where she's like, beating Tetris is not a life goal or whatever, or some shit like that. Or I was like, you're a cunt.
I imagine she got attacked on every social media.
Oh, she has been, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things where I'm like, yeah, like she's an asshole. She shouldn't have said that, but I imagine she's getting probably way more
Yeah, death
aggression
threats
for it
and
than she
everything.
deserves as well.
Well, that's true because they're gamers and they need.
We don't
to
know
touch
how
some grass,
how
but-
far we should take it.
It's super cool that someone beat Tetris though.
That is cool.
The original Nintendo one.
Yeah.
Makes me
Well,
feel.
The Russian game.
And it is a thing. Like I'm weirdly fascinated by competitive Tetris.
Yeah.
Just because it's like such a simple game and you don't think about like it having innovations, but like just a couple years ago there was a thing where like, especially like kids like that like discovered a new method for playing the game. They like hold the controller different.
Yeah,
They essentially like hold the controller and like push it up to like hit their fingers instead of moving their fingers because it's faster that way. And it like
bump cycling. That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, and it just like they started like just completely shattering like every Tetris record all of a sudden, which I find super interesting that like such an old simple game has like these weird innovations happening.
And such a active like competitive scene too.
Yeah,
And I think one of the longest running ones for video game wise.
I mean yeah, it's up there with like the old arcade stuff. Which I mean, that's part of why I like that they like beat that version of Tetris. I love those like old arcade games where beating the game just meant like playing it more than it was intended to be able to play. Because like Donkey Kong's the same way. There is no like ending screen or anything. You just play it until the game breaks at some point. That's the kill screen. I love that shit.
Well, like, how many levels does Donkey Kong have?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's a bunch. But that's
Yeah.
like, if you do like competitive Donkey Kong, it's like trying to get to that as fast as possible.
So,
Yeah, it's speed running. That's the original speed runners.
the way that you win a tournament is you speed run to break the game.
Yes. Because it's only coded to like go so far because there's an assumption of like, well, it would, take a kid, hundreds of hours and like thousands of dollars to ever beat this. So yeah, we don't need to code for 1,000 levels, only 999.
Dude. And like to think, like, when was Tetris made?
Sometime in the 80s.
So this kid is 13, 16. Wow, like
Mhm.
that's just impressive.
Yep. Playing a game literally almost twice his age.
As old as his dad.
1984 is when Tetris came out.
Yep.
In the Soviet Union.
So Tetris could be. Wait, so how did I thought it was an American thing and they sold it? No.
No, Tetris is designed by like one guy in the Soviet Union. Then there's like a whole deal where like the Soviet government claimed ownership of Tetris because at that time, if you made something and you're a Soviet citizen, it's the product of the state, not you. And there was like a whole big deal to like get it out into like the rest of the world. There's an American guy, I can't remember names, but there's like an American guy who's like really instrumental in like being like the middleman between him and Japan to get it into Japan, and then from there it like went out to the rest of the world.
There's a documentary about that, isn't there?
It's a movie.
There's multiple documentaries. There's a lot of books. It's like one of the most like reported on like stories in video game history because it's such a crazy cool story.
Yeah.
Who's
Yes.
there was a movie called Tetris that just came out recently too.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a dramatization of that story.
And that's like there's like a big time actor in that too. It's not like a budget movie. It's like a blockbuster budget movie, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. It was like I think it was I think it's in a weird I haven't seen it, but the impression I get is that it was trying to be like an Oscar baity movie, but because it's named after Tetris, like everyone kind of wrote it off as like kind of assuming it would be like that Battleship movie or something, I think. People are like, a Tetris movie, that's stupid. And it's like, well, no, this is actually like a really interesting historical story.
Right.
Everyone's like, we don't want to watch blocks fall.
Taron Egerton is the guy who's in it. Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, Toby Jones, that guy. All right, I know who that dude is. He plays.
Don't know that one.
He plays a lot of weird characters.
Great description.
Shit.
Jeez. Why did you all show up so hostile today?
I don't know.
I'm not even being hostile.
Well, you were absolutely being hostile, David.
How was I being hostile?
You immediately started giving Jared shit about not playing Tarkov with you.
Oh yeah, you mean him abandoning his friends? Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He played
Passive aggressive is still aggressive, David.
Yeah. David's not a real person anymore. Arnim Zola is who he was in Captain America. That guy, that scientist.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a real person, man. Go
Like-
fuck yourself.
You don't have to show up to these, David. Just remember that. Somebody from Let's Play Deathray just has to be here. Whether they participate or not, Kyle, is up to them.
Who's being hostile now?
Yeah,
All
right.
of you.
You're being a real bitch.
Hostility returns hostility. An eye for an eye makes the world go blind.
Yeah,
When
people
you
don't
try to
usually
make
say that as a
money-
good thing.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, you only have to listen to this.
Yeah. Remember, you can shut this off at any time. Our goal is to get no more listeners. The podcast comes to a natural end when nobody listens.
No, we keep it going.
Yeah, we got a year to get through, Jared. Even with no listeners.
Yup.
I've said it before, and I'll sit like. Did I tell you guys the story of Feathers and Friends? Like the antithesis of it was I'm gonna do it for a year, and then people just kept listening, and I was like, fine, I'm gonna go till there's 3 zeros and 3 episodes.
I don't know. I think your first episode said you were doing it so certain family members know what's going on in your life and whatnot.
Yeah, and then it started to pick up traction. Like it started to pick up traction, and then people kept listening. And then I hit the year mark. I was like, all right, well, I mean, COVID's kind of over, so whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen. I recorded another episode, and people just kept listening, and I was like, oh, we're gonna continue this, and then I made it my goal. I'm gonna go till I have 3 episodes where it hits 0.
Okay.
And so if we hit 3 episodes where it's 0 listeners, yeah, but with you three assholes, it just keeps going up. Like the numbers are a little bit higher. It's just elevated.
It's like, this
Well,
is comic
I'm gonna help
relief.
spike them for you, Jared. I've got approximately 33 hours of Jared this week, so
He's got some real commentary for you.
And
I
don't
feel a little like I'm losing my mind when there's a bunch of episodes that are just you in a row. Like, I don't think it would bother me if I was listening like one a week as they were being released, but listening to them just back to back, just your stream of thought for all day. I feel like you're like brainwashing me or incepting me or something. Like the episodes where you have guests don't feel that way. It feels like listening to a podcast again. But anytime it's like multiple episodes of you in a row where it's just you, like burrowing its way into my brain.
Oh my god. How many did you have to listen to?
I've
Oh, you
listened to
listened to, like,
33
5 a
episodes.
day.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's trying to speed run it so that he has less episodes to listen to that he's in.
Yes. Basically this week I've been doing nothing but I listened to this podcast and I've been playing Ooblets, which is the video game that has been selected for me by the committee.
Yep.
What is your one takeaway from your speed run of 30 so you started at 1 and went to 33?
Yep.
Wow, I'm sorry for those first couple episodes. What is one takeaway?
Yeah, give him some
One.
pointers.
One. How I understand repeating stories. That doesn't bother me. But maybe don't do it the next week. Because, well, I understand that there's, for people who were listening at the time, and for you, there's been a week in between you telling the story. For me, there was an instance where, like, the end of an episode, you tell a story, and then you, like, sign out. You start the next episode, and, like, 5 minutes in, you start telling the exact same story with almost the exact same wording, even, to the point that I, like, had to double check. I was like, is this the same episode? Did it like go back for some reason? What's going on? And I was like, no, this is the next episode. Jared's just immediately retelling the story from last week.
Oh my god. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Oh.
Any other interesting tidbits that you found in your speed run?
Well, the only one that I wrote down as a topic of discussion, because I laughed out loud when you said it.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You were discussing your first comic book.
Yeah.
And you said that, your first you said your first comic was Wolverine Origins.
Yep.
And then you went, well, I did read a manga before that. I read Love Hina.
Oh my god.
How much Love Hina did you read, Jared? As someone who has read Love Hina.
I have read the entire series up until the point he comes back from America. I've also I have watched the anime, English dub and Japanese dub.
Fantastic. Such a weird, unexpected thing for you to be a fan of. I love it.
Why?
I just can't picture you being like, man, this 90s harem manga is so good. I mean, that Kempo girl always hits him with that kendo stick. That's pretty funny, huh?
That look on David's face. I mean, what, dude? Like, what?
I hate it so much.
What? You hate the fact that I enjoyed a manga in the fucking late early 90s?
I don't think it's that.
No, he
I think
hates
it's
Love
something
Hina.
else.
Why do you hate Love Hina?
Well, for one, it's a manga / anime.
Okay.
For
Yeah, and David hates Japanese people, so.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
true.
all Japanese people.
Well, I mean,
all their
that's
stories.
no, I can't say that on air.
Oh, look, he's learning.
I was just gonna say it's the Jew in you, but you know. that's exactly the expression I wanted from him.
I mean, Japan was an Axis power.
They did align with Hitler for a little bit there.
Yeah, but a lot of Jews escaped Germany through Japan.
That's the joke, Kyle. That's the joke. But back
Thanks,
to
Kyle.
Love Hina. I wanted. Why do you dislike Love Hina?
I don't like harem animes or manga in general. One of the main reasons why I hate anime is all the like fan servicey bullshit, which is, you know, the only reason that manga exists.
I don't know about. I will somewhat like. You're right. There's a ton of fan service in Love Hina. It's like half the point of it. But I will say, in Love Hina's defense, over other harem anime, it is legitimately funny as well.
That is true, which is the only reason I could tolerate it when Nathan was obsessed with it.
Harem, like multiple women at his disposal or whatever, but he's only got the eye for one girl, and she only really likes it's not a bunch of girls who are in love with the guy though.
That kind of is though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
As like
they
a
all kind of develop different. Listen, I've watched all of this show. Okay, my former roommate and former friend was obsessed with Love Hina. Okay, I know everything about this stupid fucking anime that I hate.
like my takeaway is that like she was the only one that was actually like into feels for him, like when it came to like a relationship wise. The rest of them were just like, yeah, he's a great little brother. That was my takeaway because he ran the household.
No, it's definitely each episode is a progression of each character's interaction with him, falling in love with him towards the end of the entire anime and manga.
I mean, I was also like 15 when I read this, so
Yeah, no, like, yeah, it's a pretty typical thing in like those harem anime where like there's like the one main girl that there's like that's clearly like the real relationship, but then everyone else is like has this weird side relationship with the dude.
Yeah.
I was genuinely hoping Kendo Stick Girl would fall in love with him, or like just like make him like mommy dom the shit out of him. That was kind of
she would have pegged him for sure.
Just one day she walks in.
I hate this conversation.
One day she walks in and is like, "You're my boyfriend now." Oh, okay, sure. Good. Let's go. Go where? You'll see. Ooh, are we gonna go train? In a sense. I gotta go put something on real quick.
Somehow found a way to get Jesse on this podcast without bringing Jesse on the podcast, and I hate you for it, Jacob.
Another thing I think is so funny about that anime and basically all other harem is that the main protagonist is so oblivious to everything that's going on in that.
I mean, less so in Love Hina. He's pretty horny in Love Hina.
Yeah, but he doesn't get it.
Well, yeah,
like,
obviously.
He doesn't get any of the hits. He's like just off in his own world every time.
That's fair.
I mean, like seriously, you guys can't tell me we're all high school, teenage, college age kids living in a dorm full of very attractive other women who are the same age as you, and you're not gonna be like fucking just ready to rock and roll. Replace girls or with guys, whatever, for those of us who are of the colorful flag here. I gotta be inclusive. I forget. I see Danny DeVito in the background there, Jake.
The ideal man. No, I mean, that's like the whole point of that genre, though, right? Is that it is like this fantasy that a lot of guys have.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like a lot of like, especially, it's one of those things where like a lot of early like harem anime where we're like kind of making fun of that fantasy for guys. That's why it's always like the guy never gets laid and he just gets the shit beat out of him, because it's kind of poking fun at that idea of like guys fantasy being like, oh man, if I lived in this house with all these women, surely I would be having all this sex. And then it's like, no, they're just gonna beat the shit out of you because you're a loser. But yeah, then after that, after it became like a popular established genre, like it kind of got taken over by like the exact opposite of that, where it just became that fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else, David, that you just didn't like about Love Hina?
I mean, yeah. So okay.
It's
God.
fine. I have points that I Love Hina sparked a love-hate relationship with manga, so feel free to bash the shit out of it.
Interesting. No, So it's not even that. It's just part of the reason why I dislike all of that. So like I've been in scenarios where innocently people do sort of throw themselves at you. I don't know. I guess the idea of like all guys are these horny, out of control, like make poor decisions and don't remain loyal, like that always bothered me, especially as a young man, because that was like, I don't know, one of the big things that I didn't do. I don't know. It irritates me.
I just
So
the over exaggeration of like feelings, right? Or like that fucking always got me. Like it started to annoy the shit out of me. That was one of my big problems. And the other problem that I had is like at some point in time, like somebody's at least got to be like, dude, you got to stop, bro. Like you just got to stop. Like whatever you're trying to do with Kiroku over there, like she loves you, bro. Like she does, but like you need to like step your fucking game up. Right? Like you got to be not whatever that is, and then it gestures to all of him wildly, right? Like at some point in time you'd feel like that, or they just kick him the fuck out, right? Like how many times can something crazy like that happen, and then them not just go, hey, yeah, your aunt was really cool and she did pick the right person for it, but you can't know. Like you can't know.
uh, I hate
Why-
how much of that sentence I understood.
I know, right?
It's kind of like sitcom logic, right? Where it's like you kind of have to erase your memory of like all of this happening, like and treat like each individual issue as like this is a separate thing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, 100%. If you like stack all this stuff up, it makes no fucking sense. But
Like
but
Seinfeld.
they want to keep doing the story, so it has to keep going.
Did
It's like,
you just say like Seinfeld?
well, like Seinfeld with the new kids today. Like new kids would be like, why didn't you just text him? Why didn't you just text Jerry or whatever?
Well, I mean I feel like that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
I meant more like nothing in most sitcoms. Seinfeld's actually an exception to that. But like in most sitcoms, what happens in one episode's not going to have any effect on what happens in the episode after.
Okay.
Right? Like,
Gotcha.
even if something like big and like life-changing happens, it's never referenced again.
Right.
Because it's on to the next episode. It's about the jokes, not like an overarching plot.
Is that something that pisses you guys off in TV shows? The continuity errors?
No. I actually tend to enjoy
It depends. I would say it more depends whether like what they're after with that TV series. Like, are they trying to tell an actual overarching story, or they're just after a comedy sketch every episode?
That's true.
Specifically in sitcoms, it does not bother me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sitcoms, no.
Yeah. Now, when shows like Lost do it, just get over yourself, Joss Whedon.
So that wasn't just
End up with
I know
a
it wasn't.
disconnection. That's all they end up with.
I'm lost.
he's
I've
not-
never seen Lost.
No.
It was a show that could have been really good that they just fucked up.
I think that like the first few seasons are fine. It's the later ones are
Yeah, but
just
that's the
terrible.
problem is they take something that had a really decent premise that you could have done a lot of interesting stuff with, and then just grind its bones and make a putrid tasting jelly that they cram down your throat, and they're like, eat it and you'll like it. Primetime television, bitch.
That's it. If you ever just want to watch Lost, just watch the first two episodes, seasons, and I think that'll be
That's
fine.
not satisfying though.
It's not though.
Because that show is all just setting up for big mysteries that never really pay off in a satisfying way. That's all Lost is.
The one does, but then they convolute it with like, if they hadn't have been setting up for their little cliffhanger because they wanted to continue their fucking show, season 3 has a fine ending that could have happened, but instead they're like, never mind.
They wanted 2 more seasons after that.
Have you guys seen Last Man on Earth?
Yes.
The first few seasons.
The first few episodes. I've not seen
the
full first season even.
They got canceled right as the big turn was happening, right? Like the big turn happened, and then I was like finally caught up on Hulu, and I was like, okay. No, hey, when's the next episode? They're like, it's not happening. They just it stopped. And you're what? Why? They were about to just have a big reveal about something, and it would have been fucking amazing. And no, just nope. That pissed me off.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. That's fair. Also, Jared, you talked about this on like episode 20, so I'm gonna need you to not repeat yourself so goddamn much.
It's episode 209.
I recognize that was several years ago for you, but for me, that was literally yesterday. I heard you talking about this.
You know what?
Awesome.
Until Jake gets caught up, I want to hear your takeaways, Jake, on my episodes. I want to hear what you've taken away speedrunning Feathers and Friends, aka Nobody's Listening.
I've got another complaint.
Okay.
I'm telling Kyle about. This one is a genuine complaint.
This is okay.
This one I don't know about.
You might have been in the room. I don't remember. But when you're talking about specifically with first-person shooters,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
you do a thing where you assume everyone listening is as familiar with the game as you are, and you'll be like, "All right, so I was on this this one map, and I was in that really narrow alley. I was in there." And I had this gun, and I had the usual build for it that I always do, that everyone does. And these guys came through, and there were like 3 of them, and I got them all, and it was awesome. And so that's where I go on this map now. And I'm just sitting there like, none of this means anything to me. These are just words, and you haven't explained anything.
A book of
To
content.
shortcut it,
Full of
Jake,
content.
This is
without
where
content.
this is where I go when I'm not with David, because I don't play with him anymore because I don't love him.
I hate you all. We had a new segment, and it was immediately canceled. Congratulations, everybody.
Oh no, he's running away.
Wait, we had a new segment?
The complaint department. I genuinely feel bad that I made you do that. What was the poll how lopsided was the poll though?
Oh, it was basically 6-2.
No, I think it ended up being like 8 or 9-2. 2 other podcasts had 1 vote each. The rest were all for this show. I
created X for this. I created and voted for this. I just want you to know. I said I'd never have a Twitter. I have a Twitter now.
You're welcome, Elon Musk. Where's my check?
Oh my god. Speaking of Elon Musk, I am kind of curious because I know we were arguing about this earlier. The whole So who actually read the article or knows semi what the article is all about? The zoo theory.
I bad ran it just now, so
No.
Yeah, I kind of skimmed it. It's something I'm like slightly familiar with already.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just because I thought it was going to be this whole article about like, oh, we're just being watched, we're monitored, we're called like. You guys ever seen what the South Park? That South Park episode where they're like, yeah, Planet Earth, episode 3000, whatever, right? Where we just took all the antelopes from the antelope planet and put them on the planet with all the kangaroos. Like, it's just one hodgepodge of people to make a TV show. Like, that's what I thought it was going to be like. And they're like, no, they just explained the Fermi paradox. Over.
Yeah. I mean, it's because there's no real evidence there. It's all speculative.
yeah.
Which is why I don't find that. I don't find the like. Well, we're getting to the point that like, if an alien species doesn't reach out soon, they must not be out there, or they must be watching us. Those are the only two possibilities. I find that really not compelling because it's making a lot of assumptions that an alien species out there, one, is significantly more advanced than we are. There could be intelligent life out there that's at a lower stage of development, which doesn't even get considered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Two, it's assuming that an alien species is similar enough to us, both technologically and biologically, that they would be picking up our signals, interpreting them the way that we want to interpret them, and then contacting us back or sending us information in the same way that we are sending them, which is kind of narcissistic in a way, I think, where there's this assumption that, well, that this alien life is obviously going to be in basic ways like us, which I think is very unlikely.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's like there's a few possibilities of why we haven't encountered alien life, in the fact that we could be one so far fucking away that we're not going to encounter it until we're actually a spacefaring race, or we could be so far ahead of all evolving life in the universe that we're technically alone.
Or so far behind that like what we think of as like, this is how people would reach out, obviously, as nothing to these, whatever like alien civilization it could like get to. Like, we could be sending radio waves and they're like, well, we haven't used radio technology in 100 million years, so it just goes through and there's no response because who the fuck uses radio waves anymore? They're using some other technology we can't even comprehend. Like, both are distinct possibilities that just don't even get like considered.
Yeah, and then also there's they could be a group of aliens already grouped together, and they're have like certain contingencies against a non-FTL race. Like they no interaction with a non-FTL race or something like that.
For
Yeah,
those of us not in the know, FTL is
Faster
Faster than light.
Assuming that faster than light travel is possible.
Yes.
Right.
I mean,
which it may or may not be. We're not
True.
sure. Yeah. So yeah, like that's why I find that kind of speculative, like alien stuff, kind of. I don't. It's not an issue of like, even I think it's scientifically wrong. I think it's just a failure of imagination that kind of limits their options in such a way that I think it actively impedes the science.
Yeah.
thought experiments are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, why are you shaking your head, bud?
I hate this whole topic.
Why do you hate this topic?
Because it's basically a Jesse argument.
No, it's not even that. It's what does it matter? Like, I have my personal beliefs about life on other planets, but who fucking cares?
Well, dude, how else am I supposed to scare myself shitless at night?
Why be scared of that? You want to be scared? Fucking look at life on this planet. It's bad enough. Why? Like, I don't give a shit if there's life elsewhere.
I mean, why do you
So,
think I
that-
rarely touch grass?
Also, like,
Grass is pretty scary.
it is an interesting thing to think about and look at, but also like I don't care. Um and the minute man, there's so much to unpack there. There's so many ramifications for the entire history of the known world and any sort of future of society if for somehow there was other life out there that people don't even think about. And it's just it's exhausting. It gets so annoying because it's basically, it just breaks down to it's just another fucking fandom. It's no different than fucking anime bros getting together and talking. Is the same shit when the physicist dudes start going off and then they think they're just better than everyone else because their shit involves science. But it's all theoretical shit that they can't even prove half of the shit that their conversation is based off of. So I it's just a goddamn waste of time. Like, and on top of it, it's also bad science. But you know, you can't say that to a scientist because then they get fucking pissed off.
Why do they get mad, David?
Because you can't tell a scientist that it's bad science. Because if they thought about it, clearly it's good science, even though
Yeah.
it goes against their own goddamn method.
Yeah, so what David's talked about is specifically in like a lot of physics. Once you get to a certain point, you have to start basing things increasingly on things that you can't actually prove. You increasingly have to go, okay, we're going to assume that it works this way, which leads us to this other conclusion, which leads us to this other conclusion, but it's all based on an assumption, an unproven assumption at its basis.
Yeah.
And it is actually a thing where like sometimes they like get proven or disproven and it like completely changes like entire models in physics. It's like, oh, this works nothing like we thought it was.
Yep.
Because we were based on this incorrect assumption. And there's also other cases where they know that the thing they're assuming on can't actually be correct,
Yeah.
but it's like the best model to like take other stuff like to try to figure other things out. So they base like further discoveries and like further models on this thing that they know is wrong, that when like they figure it out may or may not like completely invalidate all the stuff they like use that to go off.
It forces you to like, and it's hard for someone who understands the stuff to then not be skeptical if you're smart, because you know that people force things into, like, we force results. We will see things the way that we want it to be. And so, like, I know that's the big argument against, you know, like people who believe in religions as well. You're forcing the facts to fit your belief, right? And you aren't. How can you not when you're basing something off of something where you know, we know this doesn't work, but we're going to use this as a model to try to prove and test this, and we're going to use this as then the proof negative of something that we can't see or test or observe, but then we're going to call it science because you can't prove a negative, but I can prove through this convoluted chain of bullshit that I just made up that you couldn't possibly have had a deity visit Earth. What?
I had a thing. Oh yeah, haven't we been like, oh no, this is false, and then we're like, oh shit, no, it's right.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, like in science, yeah, like I'm pretty sure that there's been like a time where like, hey, no, that David thing is totally false. Oh no, that David thing actually turns out to be true. Like in this, so okay, no, I got you.
Yeah, and usually that's like a result of like technology where like we can suddenly we can observe a factor that we couldn't before.
Yep.
And we're like, oh shit, like no, this is true. There was just, you know, we didn't know about radioactivity when we like said that it wasn't true, and now that we know about radioactivity and can factor that in, it is true.
Yeah, it's like the whole Higgs boson thing. I mean, Like, oh, there's clearly this particle that we find, and it is the God particle. It'll explain everything, and then these idiots can stop believing in God because clearly we weren't intelligent design. And then we built a super collider so we could observe it. We're like, there it is. There's the hey, what's all that shit that isn't there? And what's all the shit that it's interacting with? Oh
Yeah.
fuck, there's more things we can't see.
Yeah, you kind of see the same thing in biology with like the human genome. There was like an assumption that like once we like completed the human genome, we would understand everything about like
Everything.
human health. It would like basically like cure all diseases. And to be fair, a lot of that was like non-scientist people like pushing for funding for these programs and like greatly exaggerating the claims, and the people who are actually doing the work were like, no, it's really important, but it's not going to do that. But that's not the message that gets out to people.
And then they unlock the human genome, and then they're like, maybe evolution's real? We're not sure. Probably? Maybe? We don't know.
Well, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm more thinking of like from the medical side of things. And like it has been like a huge deal. It's why like since we discovered like cancer rates have like plummeted, like treatment for cancer's gotten way better. It's like a big part of why we're like close to having a cure for AIDS.
Why they were able to do the RMR vaccines and stuff, and like why they can break down viruses to an even safer level.
Yeah, it is like one of the biggest like breakthroughs in like the history of biology.
But
But
it's not the cure-all.
right, but it wasn't the thing that in the 90s they kept telling us it was.
Yeah.
This is not the video game cure-all.
Yes, it's not as transforming of humanity as Metal Gear Solid led me to believe it would be.
L'enfant terrible. Now
saying,
you're back to
why don't we
having
have super soldiers yet? Now that we have the genome unlocked.
Yeah.
Oh, we have super soldiers. I guarantee.
Calm down,
you.
Hitler.
What? Just
Not
because I'm
that
half
kind of
German.
super soldier.
Come on now. It's called
I
math.
I want a guy who can control birds with his mind, David.
Yeah, fuck that super soldier stuff.
Yeah, not some like stronger and can run faster super soldier. That sucks.
Jake, that's just called a drone pilot. They're in the Air Force. We make fun of them.
They
They're
use
nerds.
Xbox
Birds are
controllers.
real, okay? Birds are real.
They're called
I don't
drone
know.
pilots.
Basic information recording device. All right, I get it. I understand the joke. I've heard it 1,000 fucking times at work. Congratulations.
I was actually just making a joke about the Air Force and drone warfare, because that's what we would use a guy who could control birds with his mind for. But yeah.
No, he would be tasked with guarding one specific location against one guy named Snake. That's how you use a super soldier, David. Come on.
We're not Russian, Jake.
That doesn't matter. It could be whoever. The president of the United States could be in on it. That guy's a clone.
That guy is a clone.
Yeah, this version's just.
Wait.
Are we confusing Jared with the video game talk on his video game podcast?
Wait. We're talking about Metal Gear Solid right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the one? In my
Did you
defense,
think we were calling Joe Biden a clone, Jared?
for a brief moment, yes. For a brief moment.
I've got something for you. I've got something for you, Jared. Did you know that most of the presidents are related to each other?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, but no, for like
Colonel, the DARPA chief has gone crazy.
All but one has been proven genetically to be related through ancestry.
No, I want to go back to this Metal Gear Solid thing because I've only ever played the one with Psycho Mantis. That's the only one I've ever played, right? I didn't play any of the other ones. I played. So what was that
You
one?
didn't play Snake Eater?
No, I never played Snake
What
Eater.
the fuck?
It's the best one.
It's so good.
What was Metal Gear
Yeah,
Solid
but the
5?
graphics are so bad he can't go back to it now.
Yeah, no, I can't go back to it.
I know.
Right. I forgot his
Yeah,
graphics.
he's
thing.
a nerd. Yeah.
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 What Metal Gear Solid was that? Where like it was like like 2 stages long, and it was like the whole campaign, the whole game.
What?
None of them?
Yeah, like I could have swore there's like a little Metal Gear Solid game that was like
The VR, but that was a lot of stages.
no,
'Cause
not
you had the Metal Gear Solid VR missions, which you had to play through, and you had to beat all of them, and you had to meet certain requirements, so then you could play as Gray Fox, who's the stealth ninja from the first game, but that's only the first PlayStation game. And that doesn't include the Nintendo game. So,
Yeah,
and then
well, yeah, maybe one of the. I haven't played most of the side games. Maybe one of those is like that, but all the
Yeah.
numbered ones are.
5 had a side game. It was Metal Gear Solid 5 something, and maybe he means that.
Yeah,
but
like
that
it was like
just
a yeah, it was an intro mission to the game.
yeah, it's a teaser to 5.
Oh, it was
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 is
Okay.
like a giant open world game.
Yep. It actually was pretty good.
I couldn't get into it.
That's fair. It takes a while, like, and it's not Metal Gear Solid-y for like the first, I'd say probably 4 hours of the game. If I hadn't have been such a fan of the franchise, I probably would have stopped playing it. But
5 is the one you build a base in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have
I don't know. I
quiet.
liked it. Like doing all like a bunch of the crazy stuff you can do on it.
dude, it's so much fun.
Yeah,
it-
it was
Put someone
fun
in
to-
the air. Boast
wa-
the balloon.
It was fun to dick around in, but like the actual missions never felt like Metal Gear Solid to me. They felt weirdly kind of generic in a way that Metal Gear Solid never has.
yeah, you
Which sucks
feel-
because all the story stuff going on in that game is crazy and cool.
It
And
is.
exactly the kind of convoluted bullshit I love for Metal Gear Solid.
it's yeah, it suffers from the typical like studio's first open world type thing.
Fatigue too.
It's not even so much the fatigue. It's more they tried too hard to make you do like real seeming missions where like, oh, a soldier would actually be involved in this, while also having all of the Metal Gear Solid stuff sort of like that you would normally deal with happening underneath it. So there were missions where one mission you would go in and take down an entire base by yourself. And then the next mission, it's like, sneak over here, plant a beacon, sneak over here, plant a beacon, sneak over here, plant a beacon. Okay, you're done. Go back. I just took on 350 people by myself, and now I have to call in an airstrike for this base? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it's the going from a linear game to a very open game.
I want to get back to a linear storyline. I do.
I don't think it would work as well in modern gaming for Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I disagree.
I don't think it would work as well. The problem with linear stages and things like that now is everything has to have the higher difficulty bar, and so I think you end up creating a game that's basically unplayable if you want to keep the original feel and go to linear mission based move from area to area while telling your story.
I disagree, and I have a specific game in mind for why.
Please tell
Or
us.
Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village follows the exact layout of like all early Metal Gear Solid games, and everyone loved it. That game is essentially Resident Evil plus Metal Gear Solid. That's what that game is, and it works great, and people loved it.
But that was because it could tell the story well. Like that's the other
Yeah.
thing that we're taking away from this is that if you can't, you could have a great open world game, right? Like everybody loves Red Dead Redemption 2. The storyline is great, the open world narrative is great, everything about the game is amazing. You take away one of those good aspects, and it's just an absolute massive failure, right?
But well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
I don't think it would work with Metal Gear Solid though, because you have too many mechanics that you have to. They've built too much, so it would feel like you're taking away so many things in order to return to that. Like it would be like taking a tool set and being like, here, we gave you all of the wrenches and everything this last time, but now in order to go back to the linear storytelling, I'm gonna take away 6 of your wrenches and leave you just with this ratchet strap and a fucking crescent wrench, get it done.
But what do you need all the tools for? Like genuinely, like if the storyline doesn't call for it, yes, it'd be like, oh my god, what? Like with the Chicago typewriter from Resident Evil 4, it was a nicety to have once you had it, but if you never had it to begin with, and it was never part of the game, what's
same
the
reason
point?
controllers never go backwards. If I've given you 8 buttons and now I go back to 2, no one will play it, and they've shown that.
Hell, that's the Wii.
Also,
the most successful console of all time.
I don't think Resident Evil has ever really went open world. It went staged in like 4.
They did like
5,
the Borderlands. They did the Borderlands thing where it was open world enough to where you could go explore, but you still had the linear progression. You know?
Yeah, because like you would reach so far into the storyline, it would just close off the area in the back. But you cannot go back any farther.
An open world. They've never done true open world.
They've always. That's why they've always banked on their story.
Yeah,
and I definitely think Resident Evil is a story linear game, regardless of the fact that they do have stages that you can open explore, but it is not an open world game.
Well, and Resident Evil doesn't suffer from what I like to call the Elden Ring conundrum.
What is the Elden Ring conundrum?
Which is that Resident Evil games don't have to get progressively harder for the fan base to be like, hey, this is actually a good game. But most action games are getting judged on that scale now, and it's really annoying, and that's how they get reviewed. And they compare the difficulty and ability to play it to Soulsborne games, and it's really fucking annoying because that's the metric that games get compared to be successful.
It's the
right, but those
storyline.
aren't. Those are action RPGs. Metal Gear Solid is like an action stealth game. They're a different genre.
They are a different genre, but anything with action, I have not read a game review in the last year that hasn't compared any action game to the Soulsborne franchise, and the playability or the mechanics of it being good or bad by comparing it to the Souls. And it is going to, I think, hobble the industry for a while, because obviously devs are going to make things that are going to be reviewed well and put out well and played. There's the whole side of the industry that doesn't just let developers make whatever the fuck the developers want to make.
Yeah, but we've seen massive successes in those games when developers get to make the games that they want. Baldur's Gate 3, massive success, right?
We've also seen people like fall on their face trying to make games they want.
What was that game?
Prime example, Days Gone By.
I was gonna say.
And Larian Studios did not just get to Baldur's Gate 3 and be like, hey, we're finally making it. Like, they suffered for a long time.
Yeah, but that's just it. We have to get away from the every year and a half release, right? We have to get away from that. We have to get back to being fucking patient, right? And I think the fatigue of all of that is really driven down a lot of video games out there. Like, what do we see with movies, right? Coming spring of 2025. And you're like, it is winter of 2023. Like, can we just, like, not hype this up? Can we just relax for a little bit? We need to get away from that.
I would say it's not that we should get like calm down with game production. I think it's more of we need like big monopoly industries stop absorbing the little guys that we want games from that they are not going to put out anymore because they're absorbed.
But they need the funding so bad, though, Kyle.
Right, but it's a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, I wish this little studio that made this interesting game, had funding to do something bigger, and then they get absorbed in one of these like big corporations, and you're like, all right, now they've got the funding, but now they have to answer to this big corporation, and they tend to be much less like willing to risk things.
Yeah.
Well,
they don't want to take chances. They don't want to try new things
because
they want to do the thing that has sold well for them in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you change all the mechanics of a game, and Madden is no longer the video game that it used to be, and there's no good storyline mode, and you can't create a good uniform. And what other conversations can I yell at Jake that he's heard before in like 5 episodes?
I don't know. At this point, you might have to go back and listen to it if you
Like,
wanted that
it's-
argument.
It's just the gaming industry. I will say this, and I will continue to say this, and I know it's a hot take and it's an unpopular opinion. The Soulsborne genre and the hype around them is hurting video games. So
Jake, I apologize because you're probably gonna hear arguments like this for like the next 80 or 90 episodes. I apologize, bud. just throwing it out there. There's a hot streak where I was just pissed off at video games for a little bit, and everybody was pissed off at video games. It was the same argument, so I apologize. And before we dive too deep into it, we're getting to that point, boys. I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but
Advice.
get off Reddit. There, you're welcome.
yeah. There's your
Whole
advice for the day.
segment done. No.
All right, fair enough. No. I may have found a couch, aka a love seat, that I would like to replace my shitty recliner with. And the lady,
What's her name?
What's her name? Oh, I don't know.
Well, last time you got a couch, I mean,
I know, right? I know. I'm hoping that my upgrade to a love seat brings happiness and fortune, right? And I can
Yep.
get out of this fucking slump I'm in.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
definitely the fun
on the
way.
list
That's
of
the issue.
places- It's that's on the list of places women don't want to go. Your home.
But if you had a love seat, totally different. Like, oh, I was gonna ghost this guy, but that love seat.
That hurts a little bit.
I'm sorry, Jared. I've joined in on the hostility.
That hurts a little bit more than it should, guys. Not gonna lie.
yeah,
I'm
that
sorry,
was deeper
buddy.
than I even went.
That was a little more than a paper cutter, right, boys? That was like getting hit in the neck with a paintball while you're playing paintball, right? It's like that. The only place it's not covered.
No, that came out of the blue, Jared.
Yeah.
That's like getting hit in the neck by a paintball while you're shopping. Just like, what the fuck?
And it's a frozen paintball too. Kyle just like had it sitting in the freezer in Kmart. Fuck that asshole. Brap, brap. That one unnecessarily hurt.
Oh.
So Kyle, Jake, and David, what do you guys do for fun that's free besides insulting me? What else do you guys do for
Insulting
fun?
Jesse, insulting Jake.
I mean,
For the record, David answered the question there. He was the first one to answer it.
yep, there's his answer out of the way.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
But seriously, what do you guys do for fun that's free? Kyle, why don't we start with you? Or Jake. Fine. Jake, Jake, you told me never to call on you first.
Also,
I
why are
was
you calling on
interjecting
people? That's
because I had
Jake's.
one.
That's Jake's job. He's the
Yeah.
host today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The intern just does all the work and doesn't get any credit.
Exactly. I mean, I like going on walks. It's enjoyable.
Have any old people made you stop and take out your earbuds?
Constantly. Old people have stopped me to talk to me. I've helped an old man unload his truck into his garage. Like, a lady stopped me and told me the story of how the park I was in was named after her dead sister. That was wild.
Okay.
So yes,
Ah.
that's happened a lot.
You met Mrs. English.
Yep.
Nice.
Is it English Park?
It's Nancy English Park. Yeah. Yeah. And her sister still lives in town.
Yep.
Wait,
She sure does. And she goes to Nancy English Park.
And it's a haunted ass park.
I thought.
Well,
she
a
was...
child did die there.
It yes, true.
But I thought she was dead.
What? No, the sister's
The-
dead.
Yeah.
The sister goes to the park. See, for sisters, there has to be.
I get what
Two
you're saying. I get it. I get it.
The-
It
Okay.
comprehended for 2 seconds. It was just the structure of the sentence threw me for a loop.
He thought Jake was talking to a ghost.
Could have
It could be. It's haunted.
Could be.
Anyway,
I didn't check for a pulse.
all right, Cal. What do you do for fun for free?
Going up on the mountain hiking is kind of, I think, is fun. Just walking around, taking my dog out. Sometimes David and a bunch of my nieces and nephews join.
I think every time.
No, I've went up there a few times by myself with my dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fun. I like all of those things. I don't mind taking walks. I would say for me, it's probably just like board games, card games. Like I know, I guess technically, yeah, there's the startup cost of buying the game, but you know,
Whatever.
like I like to play board games. I wish it was something that I got to do more of, but I also know that I can be very competitive, and it also takes a long period of time, and so other people don't enjoy it as much as I do. But like, I miss playing Risk and card games and shit like that. Like my family used to do all the time, but now people won't play those games. So.
Why would you play Risk? Risk takes like 10 hours, man. Same with Monopoly.
Risk is great. Risk, listen, if you do Risk right, Risk takes days. Okay.
Why would you want to play a game that takes you days?
People play Monopoly. What are you talking about?
No, Monopoly's way shorter than Risk.
Yeah. The table flips way earlier in Monopoly.
But I mean, to reach actual end game in Monopoly.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long.
No, I've done endgame in Monopoly in like an hour.
Yeah, once it hits
even
two
a long
people.
game Monopoly is like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is a short game of Risk.
Yeah.
That's if somebody captured Australia incorrectly wrong.
Listen, you gotta watch out for that Australia guy.
Yeah. So yeah, the Australian defense pretty good.
It's pretty good. I use it a lot.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
I know.
Speaking of strategies, what's the splurge purchase that you guys have planned for the year? Is there anything big that you guys are planning on upgrading or anything like that?
I already spent all of it.
Right, yeah.
I spent $500 at the beginning of the year.
So Cosmos' bed?
My bed, my desk, my dresser.
Nice.
No.
No.
That's my answer.
Yeah, my wife wants to do a cruise, I think, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Why not?
Just time off and shit like that. And also, that's like torture for me.
Why?
Because I hate the ocean.
Yeah.
Thalassophobia, or you just hate the ocean?
No, I have a phobia of water I can't see the bottom of,
Yeah,
and sharks.
Thalassophobia.
Yeah, I don't like the ocean. I do not like the ocean, period. So, and the idea of going on a cruise ship, which have been notorious for breaking down and failing, especially in recent years, especially after COVID, because they didn't have the money to properly maintain them. And on top of that, being crammed into a tight space with lots of people, also not a big thing for me. Sounds terrible.
I'm going to start a fund.
I'm
gonna start a fund. GoFundMe.
David, I don't think no matter how much money you raise, David's going to want to go on a cruise willingly unless he has his wife handcuff him and take him.
Guys, I've been married to this woman for 14 years and have avoided it. I know how to get out of this. Start your fund. I'll take your money, but I'm not going on a cruise.
Wow.
I might go to Scotland. I might go to Ireland. I might finally get a passport and leave the fucking country, but you know.
You have to take
you have to
over.
fly over the water though, David.
I'm fine with flying.
Yeah, flying is actually more safe than many things.
And when you crash, you die much faster.
I mean, the impending fear up into the point of your death is there, but your death is pretty instantaneous with a plane, especially if it's done correctly. It's just
exactly.
It's oh my god, you cease to exist.
I don't think
people do survive plane crashes, guys. It's not guaranteed death.
That is true, but it is a much lower rate.
Yeah,
true, but
if the pilot doesn't know how to like do crash landing properly.
Could you imagine your luck being so bad that you're the only survivor of a plane crash in the middle of the ocean?
Yes, I can. It's called my life. Thanks.
You're welcome, buddy.
Fascinating to me that in your mind that's the bad luck scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, you might survive in that scenario. That's the good thing.
No,
you guys are like, nope, instant death. No thanks.
Look, when
the instant depending doom. Yeah, great. Fucking just splat.
Look, I have been through some combat landings before. I know what it's scary is like, and I know what it's like to be pulled out of it. And so my fear is that I'm sitting there on the plane going, oh, this is a little scary. And the pilot's got it. We're fine. And then all of a sudden I go from having to not worry about a single fucking thing to going, oh, goody. I hope they find the plane wreckage in the middle of the ocean where fuck all can be found. I'm in a tiny little orange life raft. Sharks are a bounty. I am not a good fisherman. I have nothing here with me. I'm a fat kid. I'm going to starve to death. And that quick, oh, we're failing to land and we're going to hit the water and we're all going to die. That's instant, right? This is a slow, painful, I'm being baked to death in the open ocean.
I like that I have a phobia of the ocean and I am less of a doomsayer about being stuck in the ocean than Jared.
Deathray? Way to like just name a movie, basically. There's so many things go wrong for you to be in that situation.
Yeah, but that happens quite frequently.
Do you know that most like all life rafts on planes that go over oceans have GPS coordinates pinging off them?
Good to know now.
Yeah. So if you have a life raft, you can be found quicker.
Should I ruin it for them?
Flight 93.
Go for it, Dave.
Yeah. The flight that just dis-a-fucking-peered?
A lot of all planes are always tracked everywhere they go.
Yeah,
unless the GPS in the plane is destroyed, they know where you go down.
Kyle, you and I were both in the military. You and I both know that some of these contracts were won because they were the lowest bidders.
I'm not talking about military planes. I'm talking about private planes.
I'm talking about
commercial
private
planes.
Yeah, they were lowest bidder. I don't trust many of that at all. I trust it about as much as
that stuff works.
The military runs operations better than the civilians do, and we will use cheaper shit.
No, we don't.
If there's a Humvee,
we haphazard things through everything.
If there's a
about?
Humvee that is twice as old as I am at Ellsworth Air Force Base that still fucking runs, I think the military can maintain a fleet a lot better than whatever.
But it still runs because of people like Kyle.
20 other Humvees that are down behind a fence no one's allowed to look behind.
Yeah, and it's because of people
keeping
like
that
Kyle.
One Humvee going.
Yeah, but you don't go civilian though. Look at you. You're some random diesel mechanic out in the middle of Wyoming. You're not keeping a fleet.
No, you go civilian when you go into the military.
But you
go civilian. You get paid more benefits.
But you're not working on the planes.
You got a cozy job if you go civilian into the military.
But you're not working on the planes.
Yeah, you are. You're technically the most experienced person there, and all the military members that are mechanics or anything are going to the civilian contractor.
But I don't
get
trust.
Advice.
They go contractor to make contracts with the military where they get fat paid, not to fucking Delta.
But those people are the most knowledgeable people on the planet about that equipment.
Give me 5 random army mechanics and they will maintain a fleet of craft better than any civilian side can.
No. Any 5 mechanics will keep one truck running of 5.
Yeah.
You do not know how much hashtag rip this part out of another vehicle, put it in another because it's the command vehicle. I've
Great
done.
hashtag, Kyle.
We have been down 2 police cars, right? And our major and chief needed the police cars for some odd reason, and they sat in the parking lot for 3 weeks while we begged and pleaded with the mechanics and maintenance to fix our shit. I know what you're talking about.
That's the... We don't have other vehicles we can rip parts out of, and we can't get parts.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trust those airlines, because you can...
But that's not the military!
You can strategically acquire things that are needed in the military. That's why I trust the military way more than I trust civilian.
First of all, Jared, you have to have the stuff to strategically transfer equipment to an alternate location.
Tactically acquire.
Okay, but Kyle...
No, it's strategically transfer equipment to alternate location.
Kyle, you tell an E4 and below that we will give you Friday off if you can make this Humvee running.
How did this become the military?
Yeah, no, it will happen.
I thought that was next week.
Yeah, it's next
right?
week.
Yeah.
No, it's not that it will happen. They will attempt to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then, if they can't, they're like, we can't do it. Oh, well, I'll figure out another way to get Friday off.
Yeah, exactly. See, you give them motivation. You give them the motivation that they need to...
No, you gave them an option.
That's motivation, brother. It's
no,
motivation.
that's an option. They can call out sick. E4 have been known to be like, oh, you're saying I could take Friday off? I don't want to do that, so I'm calling out sick.
E4 Mafia, gang.
What military did you work in that you got to call out sick? Dude, I was high on morphine. And a lieutenant was like, don't worry, we'll tell your command that you're so drugged up you can't work. They still kicked down my door trying to figure out why I wasn't at work.
Bro, you have not came up with better excuses.
I was literally high on morphine because of a sinus infection. Whatever, Kyle.
Wait. Time out. They gave you morphine for a sinus infection?
Right? Dude, I was just going to let it go, Jake. I was just going to let it go.
So
morphine?
So when I was in, right, I went to the ER, like I could barely stay awake. They were like, Jared, what is your pain registry right now? 1 between a 10, and I was like 9. Because I could barely stay awake. It hurt like a motherfucker.
Air Force 9.
I had...
It's like a toddler 3.
Go on, Jared. Keep telling your story.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
That can definitely be
Wait, we only had one advice question?
Yep. I got it down. Yeah.
I promise you I'm not stupid, I'm just panicking.
Can I be honest with y'all? I thought they were all robots at the zoo. I've never seen one in the wilds. So as far as I was concerned, they don't actually exist, but apparently they do, so that blows my mind.